The Colombo General Hospital was established during the period 1855-1864 by the British government in Ceylon at London Place. Then the governor of Ceylon was Sir Henry Ward. The chief government medical officer of that time was Dr. Parsley. The General Hospital, Colombo, was the first hospital to employ women to their nursing staff. In 1878, a nurse arrived from England and 6 young women were employed to the General Hospital. This service was based on the tradition of Florence Nightingale. By 1879, the nursing service was institutionalized into the hospital's working structure, and the constitutional documents pertaining to their roles and duties within the hospitals were incorporated. These nurses were not initially afforded by technical training, and the only relevant qualifications were literacy and the possession of a certificate of good character. The government encountered difficulties in recruiting nursing staff for the hospital, and the governor was compelled to request through the Catholic Church the services of Catholic nuns to work as nursing staff. On 8 February 1886, Dr. Kingsley, then head of the department, made an official request to the governor of Ceylon, Sir Arthur Gordon, to recruit Catholic nuns as trainee nurses, and that the state will sponsor fully their remuneration and other expenses. Most Reverend Christopher Bonjin OMI, the Archbishop of Colombo at that time, considered this request and wrote a letter to Mother Mary of the Passion, the founder of the Franciscan Missionaries of Mary. I write this letter to you to communicate the decision of our government regarding the General Hospital Colombo. A few days ago, I received the official letter from the chief of the medical department asking help from us to the General Hospital. Hospital being confided to a religious congregation will cause a sensation in Colombo and will not fail to give credit to our religion. On our insistence, Dr. Kingsley agreed to allow 3 months for us to make arrangements. It is therefore very important that your sisters arrive at the end of May. The superintendent of nurses will be leaving soon, and Dr. Kingsley finds himself in a very difficult situation until the arrival of the sisters. I shall therefore feel obliged if you make the necessary arrangements for the engagement of the sisters. The Lady Superior should be able to take the entire management of the Colombo Hospital, which has upwards of 200 beds, generally occupied by patients and have knowledge of English. The sisters should be conversant with nursing, and I shall be glad if at least one of them has such a knowledge of midwifery as would allow her to take charge of the line in home and train native midwives. It was then that the Most Reverend Christopher Bonjin OMI, Archbishop of Colombo, provided the hospital with the services of Reverend Father Bosio OMI and 6 Franciscan nuns who arrived in Colombo on June 15, 1886 from Marseille, France. Reverend Father Bossiou OMI and Colin OMI, together with the hospital administration, had a small house constructed within the premises of the hospital, similar to the Franciscan convent. It was named after St. Peter. Preparation for the first Mass in the small convent at the foot of the garden, shadowed by trees in the only room suitable for a chapel, which was small and narrow with a low ceiling, as was the rest of the house. The first Eucharist was celebrated by Father Bele at the Peters on June 24, 1886, the feast of Corpus Christi. The Blessed Sacrament was reserved in the tabernacle. With the progress of time, a chapel was constructed adjacent to the convent, and this was consecrated by Reverend Father Coquille OMI on 1st April 1887. In 1888, Reverend Father Conrad was appointed as the first chaplain of the hospital, tending to the spiritual needs of the nursing staff and Catholic patients. The Mark Memorial Ward was established in 1938 for the benefit of the Catholic nuns who were nurses. The Quedet Memorial Ward was established in 1941 to serve and assist Christian clergymen who were hospitalized. In the present day, the two wards remain intact and are situated between wards numbers 29 and 38. The hospital kitchens were started in 1952 with the initiative of American-born Miss Taylor, assisted by 7 Catholic nuns. At that time, there were 17 Catholic nuns in the community at St. Peter's. 14 were working in the hospital, while the others were in charge of the convent. The Franciscan nuns served in many other hospitals too. In 1964, the government of Mrs. Bandaranaike brought the rule to expel foreign nuns and priests from Sri Lanka. The nuns had to leave the country. Many in tears and neighboring countries benefited from this move. After the departure of the sisters, the Blessed Sacrament continued to be reserved in the General Hospital Chapel, where Mass was offered each day by one of the hospital chaplains. To this day, the Oblates of Mary Immaculate continue to serve in the ministry of hospital chaplaincy.